Hello, welcome to the video, and today we're going to be discussing about 10 USMNT players that Greg Berhalter needs to have a look into for the September camp. Alright, so let's begin. So in the September camp, the USMNT will be playing matches against both Japan and Saudi Arabia. I believe those two matches are kind of simulations of the Iran match. Iran is a pretty similar site to both of those sites. Obviously, neither Japan or Saudi Arabia have a player that's quite informed in Europe like Djordje is right now. But obviously, if you look at players outside of Djordje, obviously both squads are pretty. I mean, the three squads are pretty similar in quality and how they play. So yeah, let's begin. Obviously, with this video, obviously there's going to be a lots of players that are going to be left out, so obviously if you get mad, obviously I'm going to try to address some players right here. But still, let's go into these 10 players right now. If I miss one or two guys, or like let's say 5 guys, I'm going to make another video, alright? So yeah, let's continue, and let's discuss first Jordan Pefok. So Jordan Pefok is gonna have to be one of those players that Greg Berhalter is gonna have to need to have a look into. So he's the most informed USMNT striker, and he is playing in a tough league finally, and he's doing this against high-level competition. Obviously, he scored goals in both the DFB Pokal, which was his official debut, and in his Bundesliga debut. So he scored in both. And obviously, it looks like Jordan Pefok is poised to have a good goal scoring season, and this time it will be in the Bundesliga instead of the Swiss Super League. So yeah, obviously at 26 years old, obviously if Jordan Pefok is to keep this kind of form, obviously you can expect him to be part of the 2026 squad as well, if he can manage to keep up that form. Obviously with this, obviously he is obviously our most informed striker right now, and obviously we have to have a look at him. It doesn't. We need to have a look at him. Obviously, he kind of fits our style. Obviously, if you want to kind of think about it, Jordan Pefok, he combine with players? He can somewhat combine with players. It depends on how you want him. Obviously, him doing a header, like if it's in like a long ball to him, and you expect him to just like make him pass it to let's say one of the mids or a winger, he can do that. But obviously outside of that, he's pretty limited. But obviously he's an aerial threat, and obviously as one of those type of players, you obviously want one of those type of players if you're going to be playing a bunch of crosses in the box. Obviously that there's you want an aerial threat. You want someone who can score goals in the box. And when you're putting a bunch of balls in the box, you want a target man, and that's what Jordan Pefok brings to the table for you. So yeah, obviously that's the first player if I would have tried to I would try to have a look at him. So yeah. Next is Malik Tillman. So Malik Tillman did have a look into, but it was kind of like in the June camp. Obviously, it wasn't much of a camp. Obviously, the USMT played against Uruguay and against Morocco. Obviously, Malik Tillman did play, and I do believe he played. No, I do believe he played against Morocco, and we played some Nations League matches. But obviously, we played against Grenada and against El Salvador. So yeah, obviously, Malik Tillman was it was kind of him settling with the team. So if I was going to have a look into Malik Tillman, obviously I'll be playing him as a winger. So in the June camp, obviously Malik Tillman was played as a mid. Obviously that kind of didn't work out, and obviously in mids we have plenty of mids. So obviously I would try to put him more as a left winger, as a backup for Christian Pulisic, because obviously, God forbid, if anything happens to Pulisic, we're going to be needing a solid backup. And obviously, we cannot be using Brendan Aronson as a backup left winger, because we should try to put him more as a mid. And obviously, we want our players in their best positions. And obviously, Malik Tillman, obviously, I believe his best position is as a left winger, and we need to have a look at him over there. So yeah, I'm hoping that Malik Tillman can kind of keep up that form with Rangers, so Greg Berhalter can have a yet another look into him. Obviously, who's our backup left winger for Pulisic? I think it's Jordan Morris. And obviously, we do not want to bring a player like Jordan Morris, who has not been in form with Seattle Sounders at all. We want someone who's in form with their clubs, and obviously Malik Tillman. I would rather have Malik Tillman over Jordan Morris. Let's be honest. So yeah, now let's go to the next player, which is going to be Alex Mendez. So Alex Mendez, the 21-year-old from Vizela, he played great in his in the first match of this new season with Vizela. Obviously, last season he was kind of settling in with the team, and right now he looks locked in. So obviously, I'm excited to see what Alex Mendez can do. Obviously, in the first match of this new season with Vizela, obviously this man was on fire. He was creating chances, and he would have probably had an assist if he probably could have had 1 or 2 assists in that match, to be honest. Obviously, he kind of brings a fair amount of versatility, which is something you're going to be wanting in the World Cup. He can play as a center mid, as a central attacking mid, and obviously as a winger as well. Obviously, he can bring a fair amount of versatility as well. But obviously, I would rather put him as a mid. Obviously, as backup eights, who Wasem and Musa are pretty much our primary eights. Obviously, you have Gio Reyna and Brendan Aronson as other options. However, I do think we might gonna have to play Gio Reyna as a winger or as an attacking role, since obviously our winger options and our striker options are kind of shallow right now. But obviously, Alex Mendez, he can be yet another interesting option as a midfielder. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he can bring. So yeah. Now let's go to the next player, which is going to be James Sands. So James Sands has had a pretty good start to the season with Rangers. So obviously he kind of looked like he was out of the squad, but right now he's back in the squad and he looks like he's ready. Obviously he's been playing more as a center back this season. So obviously yeah, um, obviously as another center back option, I probably would consider him as another center back option. But obviously, we want him to be playing multi. We want a guy who's pretty versatile, and obviously, this man brings a lot of versatility. He can play the six, and he can play as a right back. So obviously, he does bring those. He brings that element of of versatility. Uh, he's solidifying a role with Rangers, which I'm liking to see right now. And obviously, we need other options as well. We need a backup six. We need a dependable backup six for Tyler Adams, and we need more dependable center back options. And obviously, having another dependable right back option for the backup of Serginho Dest, having another backup for him, that might be a good option. That might be a good element as well. So yeah, I'm excited to see what James Sands can bring. So yeah, now let's go to the next player, which is going to be Auston Trusty. So Auston Trusty has been excellent in his start with Birmingham City. Obviously, he has had a great start in the championship, and we need more center backs because if Aaron Long is still on the squad by the World Cup, this is going to be embarrassing. So we obviously do not want Aaron Long nowhere near the team. Obviously, New York Red Bulls, obviously in some matches they're pretty solid defensively, but in other matches, like let's say their match against Colorado, they let in 5 goals. Yes, yes, you heard that right. I think I was just scrolling through and I just saw 4-5. New York Red Bulls lost to the Colorado Rapids 4-5. So yeah, obviously, if the Colorado Rapids can score 5 goals past your asses, obviously there's no reason why you should and why should any of your defenders go anywhere near the national team. Obviously, I know this sounds pretty mean, but still, obviously our defense is going to be leaking goals if we decide to bring Aaron Long to the World Cup. And so obviously Auston Trusty has kind of helped Birmingham City be of a solid team defensively. So yeah, I'm excited to see what if he can keep up that form, and if he can keep it up, I would have a look at him during the September camp. So yeah, now let's go to the next player, which is going to be Sam Vines. So Sam Vines has had a pretty good start to the season with Royal Antwerp, And obviously with Sam Vines, obviously he can be a backup option for Anthony Robinson. God forbid if Anthony Robinson gets injured or suspended during the World Cup, obviously you want a solid backup option for the left back spot. Obviously, our backup left back is pretty much Djordje Bello, and Djordje Bello has never been convincing. Obviously, Djordje Bello hasn't started the season with Arminia Bielefeld too good. To be honest, Arminia have started the season pretty poorly, but obviously with Sam Vines, he's going to be having a good amount of chances with Royal Antwerp to get into good form. And obviously, it looks like he's getting into good form with the Belgian club. So I'm excited to see if he can keep up that form up until September, and I'm going to be more excited if he can keep it up towards November, as we're going to be needing some of that form in case if something happens to Anthony Robinson. So yeah, um, let's go to the next part, which is going to be Richard Ledezma. So Richard Ledezma, 21 years old. He's a spark off the bench for PSV, and he introduces a fair amount of versatility as well. Yes, he can play the cam, center mid. He can play the 10, the 8, and he can play as a right winger as well. And obviously, he has been played more as a 6 for PSV lately. So uh, alongside it, so obviously, yeah. Um, would I play him as a 6? Probably not. He's a pretty small player, but obviously he introduces lots of technical ability, and he can be a good spark off the bench for us. And obviously this man is a key dual national. In rumors for us in Mexico, obviously Richard Ledezma, alongside other names like Jonathan Gomez and pretty much Jonathan Gomez. And who can I say as well? Who's another key dual national for us? I think it's only him and Cade Cowell as well. So him, Cade Cowell, and Jonathan Gomez are pretty much the three dual nationals that the Mexicans keep on mentioning, and they will always keep on mentioning them. Obviously, we do not want to be losing a player like Richard Ledezma to Mexico because he can be a good spark off the bench for us. So yeah. Now let's go to the next player, which is going to be Taylor Booth. Taylor Booth has had a pretty good. He'll be starting the Eredivisie with FC Utrecht, and he looked pretty good in his debut with FC Utrecht. Obviously, FC Utrecht were losing 2-0 at halftime, and he had to be subbed off for tactical reasons. Obviously, he was not playing poor by any means, but obviously FC Utrecht had to change their style. Obviously, with this, obviously Taylor Booth is gonna have to be he's going to have to be in the considerations for Greg Berhalter, obviously. You cannot just be saying, oh, he plays for some random side in the Eredivisie. Who's another guy that used to play in the random side for the Eredivisie, and obviously Greg right now regrets not choosing him? Luca de la Torre. Luca de la Torre was in Heracles. Heracles was always fighting to avoid relegation, and obviously that made Greg Berhalter not want to be including Luca de la Torre. And right now, guess who's one of our other backup options at the 8? Luca de la Torre. So obviously, we need more mids. We need more talents at the 8s, obviously, because obviously with 26 people, when 26-man squad, obviously you wouldn't want to have lots of good options. You cannot just be having Christian Roldan for the vibes. I'm sorry. So yeah. Next player will be Djordje Mihailovic. So Djordje Mihailovic has been one of the best players in MLS, and he is an attacking spark for Montreal. Obviously, if it wasn't for him, Montreal will probably be a shitty ass team. To be honest, to be nice to Montreal fans. Obviously, Montreal were a pretty average side without Djordje Mihailovic, and right now that they do have Djordje Mihailovic back from injury, obviously they have been a lot better, and obviously he provides lots of goals and he provides lots of assists, and obviously he's a nice attacker in the MLS. And before the injury, the Djordje Mihailovic even had his own claim to be in the MVP race. If he can come back in, he already came back into form, but if he has to continue that form, obviously he'll be back in the MVP conversation. He'll be an MVP candidate once again. So yeah, I'm excited to see if Djordje Mihailovic can keep up that form. So yeah, Now let's go to Timothy Tillman. So the last player on this list will be Timothy Tillman. So obviously the player from Greuther Fürth has had a good start to the Bundesliga 2 season. He can be another attacking spark and a dual national. Obviously he does bring a fair amount of versatility in the attacking zones. He can play as the 8, 10. He can play as a right mid, and obviously he has been playing he played for a pretty fair amount of false 9 last season. So obviously he does bring a fair amount of versatility, and yet again another dual national, as I said. So obviously, yeah, Timothy Tillman can be another interesting option for our midfield and attacking areas. So yeah, we're gonna be needing a lots of attacking spark, especially because we cannot be depending Paul Ariola in a World Cup, obviously, and Jordan Morris as well, and Yatis Artis. We cannot be relying on those three in the World Cup in no way, shape, or form. So yeah, um, just to thank you guys for watching this video. Um, obviously right now I'm kind of struggling to put out the videos consistently, but still, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, bye bye. We'll see you guys in the next video. Obviously, go USMNT. Goodbye.